How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before we get started, I want to give you guys a heads up. The silver membership for the Discord is going to be expiring at the end of the month. If you haven't had the opportunity to check it out, then make sure you take a look at the link in the description. So now let's talk about AMC. So like I said in my previous videos, this stock can end up testing the mid $14 range. What happened on the day? We ended up getting down to $14.23. So I got messages from many of you saying, Dre, thank you. We were prepared for it and we ended up scooping up shares on that dip. So again, I am not biased whatsoever. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys a neutral approach. I'm not going to tell you to buy at highs and so on. I want to make sure that you're able to see success inside of the markets, especially if you're going to be trading it. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for AMC. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $16.64, being down 7.40%. On the low, it tested $14.23, and then on the high, testing $17.29. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 82.298 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 48.514 million shares. So we did have well above the average in regards to volume. We had some selling pressure earlier in the day, and then of course AMC made a strong recovery towards the end. Now when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is beaten up in that oversold territory at 21.17. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So like I've said in previous videos, AMC is currently in a bear market, but one of the things that I want to point out, I told you there's a good chance we could be testing in the mid $14 range. And we saw this because this was an area of support all the way back in May. So when we got to this level, that's when we had buyers stepping in and we were able to have a nice close. We ended up seeing a high of $17.29 on the day. So going into tomorrow, I'd want to see AMC actually see if it can make that move going back into $18, especially if we see some strength inside of the market. I think that'd be a really good look, and then we can make that move to 20. 20 is definitely going to be a psychological area, and if we could hold down $20, I feel this will bring a lot more buyers in, and with that momentum, we can get up to the 21-day EMA around $22.44. If the markets end up showing weakness, then of course we can look forward to seeing a possible pullback. And if we do decide to pull back, I want to see if we could hold up $15. See how well we can hold that $15 level up. And if we can't hold up 15, at least we do know we do have buyers that are willing to step in right around this $14.20 range. So today was definitely an interesting day inside the market. Let's see how AMC could perform going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for AMC. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at recent filings for January the 24th, we have National Bank of Canada that purchased over 1 million shares. So that's a good look right there. And then when we see here National Bank of Canada again, that went in with calls at 2,283. And then also you can see it went in with some puts, so you know it's clearly hedging at 12,304. Now when we take a look at the short interest, The dark pool short volume ratio is at 58.53%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 18.29 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 6.2 million, updated just now, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.67%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 20th, it was at 60.56, and then for the close of the 21st being at 58.53. So one thing that remains the same, AMC does have short squeeze potential. That's part of the reasons why we see this stock is very volatile. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for AMC. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 215, and then on the outflow, it's at 193. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 4.02 million. On the medium, it was 136. And then on the small, it was 75.02. Keep in mind, we did have an inflow day. And then when we take a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 2.51. Then on the medium, it was 127. And then on the small, it was 64.10. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, January the 24th, it being that inflow of 1.51 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. Again, many were loading up on that dip. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. So this is definitely great to see. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 16.03%. So what this tells me right away, yes, there's a lot of traders that go in and out of AMC. And this is one thing you have to understand. It is very liquid. And it's not surprising considering when we took a look at the order flow, we do see there's a lot of buying on the retail side alongside with the selling, but there is a lot of demand for AMC shares on both sides when it comes to whales, institutions, funds, and the retail. So let's get into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for AMC, it actually did fairly decent considering how volatile the markets were. Like I said in my previous video, there was a good chance that we were going to dip into the mid to low $14 area, and that's exactly what happened. So one thing that we know for a fact, there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of buyers willing to scoop up shares. And one thing that we also have to pay attention to, I want to see AMC get back to that $20 level. I feel if it's able to reclaim back $20, it will bring back more buyers into the play. So as long as it's trading under $17, you're going to want to keep a very close eye on it. But what am I expecting? I want to see us actually form a higher low of the day. Like I said, we tested 14.23. So for tomorrow, I would preferably want us to see us being able to hold up at least a $15 level. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see from the filings, institutions have been loading up on shares. Plus, on top of that, AMC does continue to have short squeeze potential. So I know many of you will be excited to actually hear that. And then for the next point that I want to mention, if you want to jump into this stock, do your homework, do your due diligence. Just don't blindly buy in at whatever price because people are telling you, hey, it's going to be going to the moon. You need to look out for yourself. So when AMC does have those strong dips, then this is an opportunity for you to consider to load up on shares. Why buy while it's running up or while it's showing a lot of momentum? You're getting in too late. I want to make sure that you're timing your entries correctly. Of course, we can never predict the bottom. Stocks are volatile at the end of the day, but for the most part, at least we can have some sort of an idea, hey, where's a good price to actually buy it at? And that's what's very important at the end of the day, especially if you're going to be putting your money into the market and you're going to be looking for your return on investment. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow.